Hello, everybody.
Yo,
Me and Corin are currently walking on eggshells, or should I say talking on eggshells, because this is what, attempt number 4 or 5, something like that?
we're fucking. Well, I'm tight. I mean, it's just like every time we said fucking, let me borrow $1, the shit would freeze.
Let
And
me
we're
borrow $1.
okay, good. We're still good.
All right,
We
knock
said
on
this shit
wood.
like four different fucking times. But I
Yeah,
was telling you, I
so,
haven't restarted my computer since like 1907.
like, on the one hand, I think about, like, computer problems, like what we just had, and I'm like, fuck you, just work. Like, why the fuck aren't you working? But then on the other hand, it's like, well, hold on now. You're hundreds of miles away from me, probably
Yeah,
thousands of miles away from me, right? Whatever it is from New York to Chicago. I don't know
it's
how many
probably like
miles.
700 miles or some
Okay, so
shit.
hundreds. You're hundreds of miles away from me, and like I'm magically talking to you somehow in real time. So
And we got tight.
the
Shit
fact I'm
like
demanding
stopped for a
anything,
second.
the fact I'm demanding anything when it's already like magic to me, like imagine if I had to try to create this from nothing.
Fuck, man, I'm all discombobulated.
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You making love to your headphones?"
Fucking headphones are like jacked up. Bad technology night.
Whatever. So far, at least it's working. Knock on wood. I'm happy
Yeah,
about
that
that.
shit is good. But
Um,
shit needs to probably get refreshed after a while. That's why, like, whenever someone's like, "Oh, well, I can't figure out this with my phone," I'm like, just shut that shit off and turn it back on.
no, that's real shit. Like I know somebody who's an expert in AI, and so they know a hell of a lot about all different types of shit with computers and stuff and technology.
Mhm.
And he was like, "No, you like seriously, like 80% of problems will be fixed if you just refresh. If you just shut something off and shut it back on, it'll
Mhm.
just be fixed." And I'm
Well,
like,
that's like human
"Damn."
beings. I mean, we go to sleep at night, and it's just like a reset button for us.
You know what's crazy is apparently scientists can't even like they don't even really have a great explanation as to why we need sleep. There's not they don't I mean like what you just described makes sense to me intuitively too, like oh we need to refresh. Like
But it's
we need
probably the most unscientific shit ever.
No,
Just like,
like it does make sense. Like, okay, you want to shut everything down so that you restart it, but like, why exactly we have to do that? I don't know. And I remember I watched a documentary one time about this somebody who had this disease where it like primarily affects people who are like Mediterranean or something like that,
mhm.
and they they don't sleep like you like lose the ability to sleep after a while and then they die like very quickly. You could only go for I don't even know what the amount was, maybe
They were human beings.
human beings who had this disease where they don't get any like good REM sleep. They don't go through sleep patterns. If they fall asleep at all, they fall asleep for like a split second, then they wake back up. And after a while, you start going crazy, like you lose your mind.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking weird ass disease. One,
Yeah.
two. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck sleeping is. I mean, like, aren't there some fish or animals that don't sleep or something like that, or like they sleep with
Um.
their eyes open? There's definitely a.
Yeah. There's definitely. Oh, you know what? I think one of them is dolphins, where they sleep
Is it
with
dolphins?
like I think their brain sleeps like. Don't quote me on this, guys, or you could look it up as I'm talking. I'm just going
Yeah, it
based
might
off
be
of old
dolphins now
shit.
that you're saying it.
I'm totally doing bro science right now, but I'm pretty sure that like dolphins sleep where half their brain will sleep while the other half is awake, so they're awake but half their brain is sleeping, and then they'll flip that one, the other half will be off and the other
That's
one will
so
be on.
crazy.
Yeah, it's just a totally fucking different thing. What about fucking bats with their echolocation shit or whatever it's called?
What the hell is that?
Or what I don't even know if echolocation is the right term, but I think it's the thing where like they have like sonar, like they can fuck, I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't know how to describe it.
Well, I don't know. For fucking human beings going to sleep, it's not like our brains shut off because we're still using our brains when we dream and stuff like that. You know, like there's still stuff going on in our brain. It's just not as much as probably when we're awake thinking and shit like that.
Yeah, it's dreams. I want to talk about dreams in a second, but first let me explain what echolocation is, or try my best. So I think it's when like they bounce a signal. They can't see, like bats can't see, but they bounce a signal off of. They send out a signal that bounces off surfaces and comes back to them. So without seeing, they'll know how far away from them something is because they're sending out a signal that bounces off it and comes back and gives them the
What?
information. That's what I'm saying. It's like some weird shit like that. I may have totally fucked that up, but that's roughly like what it is. Yeah, it's
Damn.
fucking crazy. It's fucking
Isn't it
crazy.
wild people that don't have like a certain ability figure out another way to like use that
Oh yeah,
ability?
how like your sense of all your other senses are heightened if you lose like your ability to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking
They were
crazy.
talking they were talking to, I think it was Stevie Wonder, and they were like, how did you date beautiful women or something like that? And he was like, I would just feel like their wrist, and like I would know if they look good or not, you know?
It was a dude every time.
It-
It's a hairy ass wrist. He's like, "You so beautiful."
like but like yeah, he had to fucking trust a lot of people in his life. Like, yep,
Yeah.
that's a $20 bill, Stevie.
Did you ever see the thing? It was like an MTV award or some shit, or like some stupid Grammys thing or whatever.
I fucking am so-
This dude, they had the whole thing set up where he's performing and shit, and there's like other artists on stage. I don't remember who was there, but he was with a whole bunch of other famous ass musicians. And then when it ends, they all go off stage and they
Oh,
leave
he's still.
him there.
It's so fucked up. We're gonna
They
die.
planned
We're gonna go
everything out, and they forgot like somebody's gonna have to help him off the stage or something. Everybody just forgot, so he's sitting there like this.
there. Oh man, Stevie. Damn.
But back to dreams. I want to talk about dreams. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's a good fucking thing to think about. Man, how weird is it that like isn't it weird how when you're in dream world, laws
How
of
real that shit
physics
feels.
it feels real, but laws don't apply. Like the laws of like if you're in a dream and you're talking to somebody and then they turn around, walk away, and start flying, you just accept it. You're like, yeah, that's what people. Yeah, like people fly. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not like you have a conscious mind to be like, why did he just fly away from me? That's not possible.
Yeah, you can't logically break it down. And also, just like in the movie Inception, they talk about how like you'll always know it's a dream because if you can stop in the dream to think about how you got to where you are, there's no answer. Like you just appear in a place, in a scenario, and in dream world you just accept it. Like you'll blink at when you're dreaming, it's like you're on a plane or some shit, and then you never like you can't think back like what time did I wake up? How did I get to the airport? How did I? No, you're just on a plane.
Yeah.
And it's just part of it's like what the fuck? And it's what's crazy is like have you ever had those dreams where your conscious mind is like a little bit on? Because I've had
Yeah.
those before. Where
Well, when you're like sort of awake.
yes and no. So like I remember there's one recurring dream / nightmare that I have where I'm back in school. And I always remember I've like promised my conscious like I promised myself when I'm awake, and I feel like I've even somehow made the promise in a dream that like, all right, Kyle, just remember you're done with school. Like you're not in school anymore. It's over. So oftentimes what'll happen is when I'm having that recurring dream / nightmare that I'm in school, there's a part of my mind, like my logical mind, my conscious mind, that's like, you're done with this. And you know you're done with this.
That's
Why
weird.
are
So
you here?
You almost trained yourself outside of your dream that your dream is not a reality.
To an extent, though, because what happens most of the time is in the dream, there's like a rationalization where I'm like, well, yeah, I'm done, but I have one more year. like I hit my dream self hits my conscious mind with some shit like that. Like, yeah, you're done, but you remember the one more year. Like it's the one more year, and that's why you're here. Why else would you be here? And then I just kind of go through the rest of the dream. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That is crazy. You're sort of like having an inner battle within your own inner battle. Like you're
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever
I
had
feel-
lucid dreams where you're fully able to control? I've only had maybe 4 or 5 of them in my life, and maybe 3 of them ended up with me fucking.
Is that like
Lucid dreams where you can control it, where you things are like you're dreaming, and then you're able to control in the dream. You know you're dreaming, and you're able to control and do whatever you want.
I think I've had those, yeah, and then I like a couple of them, like I don't know, winning the lottery or something like that, and I'm doing shit, and then I wake up and I'm like, fuck no, take me back like to that moment.
Have you ever been successfully able to restart a dream where you wake up a little bit and you're like, oh, that was a good dream, and then you try to go back to sleep, and then you actually get that dream back?
I think I have.
That's happened to me like 2 or 3 times maybe.
It's such a good feeling, but then when you wake up, it's such a bad feeling. It sucks so much. It's
Because
almost
it's a
like
dream.
when you're really hungry and you're like, you want to have some Chinese food, and like you have the plate of Chinese food in you and the whole plate is full. I always think about this because I love Chinese food. And then and then you finish the plate and you're like, I don't want to, like, I'm so mad. Like I'm so full and I feel like shit. It's almost the
Yeah.
same thing with a dream. You're so happy in the midst of your dream. Like you've just won the lotto in your dream and like you're living on the
Yeah.
fucking top of the mountain. And then you like right as you wake up, you're crashing down as fast as you can back to just like, fuck, I
Yeah.
gotta wake up and go to work right now. Like I was just a millionaire, a multimillionaire.
Have you ever had a real nightmare? Like one that you wake up and you're scared as fuck. Have you ever had that?
I haven't had a nightmare, but you know what I was just talking about someone recently that to this day scares the shit out of me. Whenever I take a shower and I'm home alone, I'll always peek behind the curtain just because of the movie Psycho. That's the only thing that scares the shit out of me. You know that scene I'm talking about when they come with the butcher's knife and pull the curtain and it's just like
I don't know the scene you're talking about, but I could picture exactly what you're talking
oh,
about.
you never. That's like the most iconic. Like
You talking about the
scene.
movie Scream or Psycho? I
No,
know Psycho. Because
Psycho.
Okay,
The
Psycho.
Alfred
I don't think
Hitchcock
I've seen. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that. I've
Oh.
seen Scream. I don't know if I've seen Psycho.
Scream. The first one was pretty scary too. That shit would skeeve me out.
The
But I know I
thing-
never had a fucking nightmare.
Okay,
Like,
I
waking
never-
up like holy shit.
I never really had one until like a year ago, and then I had the worst fucking nightmare I've ever had. Where first of all, I didn't like it. It creeped me out that the thing I dreamed was somewhere in my mind. Like the fact
Like
that
like an inner demon or something.
well, no, I don't believe in fucking
Yeah.
shit like that. So I know that's
Sure.
not real. But it creeped me out that somewhere deep in my consciousness or my psyche was apparently this fucking horrific scenario that existed that came out in my dream. So let me tell you what happened in it. So there was it was like a year ago, and I don't know. I was hanging out with friends and stuff, and there was
Is this true or is this the dream?
no, this is the dream. This is all the
Okay.
dream. And I end up leaving whatever the event is with a girl who in my dream it's my girlfriend. I don't know. It wasn't like, a girl who I know in real life who is, but it's like, okay, just the fictional girlfriend or whatever. You leave the event. We're driving. Some song comes on the radio, and then like I look at her and she looks at me, and it's like, oh, we're gonna fuck, right? And so
Sounds like a good dream so
so
far.
far so good, right? Pull over the car, park it, go in the back seat, and then basically start doing it. Start going through the motions. I'm laying down. She's on top of me. She like takes off her shirt or whatever. It starts to get popping. Then as soon as we actually start doing the deed.
She got a dick.
By the way, how many dudes have had that happen in real life where they're like, fuck?
Unless you're in like fucking like Vietnam or like Thailand or some shit. Hopefully not a lot of guys.
Lady boys, yeah.
I've
But,
went down on a girl and seen a dick.
It's happened. It's definitely happened in human history. But so right as we're about to start doing it, basically, I'm looking up at her. I'm laying down. She's on top of me. Her face morphs into the fucking creepiest, unbelievably scary, like demon creature I've ever seen in my life. In fact, I was so creeped out. I woke up and I like Google image search like really scary demon or something like that. And I found the face that most looked like it. And I may have sent it to you, but I sent it to you and like two other friends of mine to explain to them this fucking horrific experience I just had. And like when the face turned full fucking like demon that's gonna kill you and destroy you and fucking eat your soul, there was the loudest like screeching yell I had ever heard in my life, like you'd see in a
damn.
horror movie when it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
super loud, like and it was this fucking thing in front of me, and I was like, oh! I woke up, I was sweating, I was scared. I don't think I was able to go back to sleep because I was
Damn,
so
son.
fucking creeped out by the fact that to that point I don't think I'd ever had a nightmare before. I don't think I'd ever had a nightmare. And then this was like a real nightmare where I was just shook. Like, how the fuck was this in my mind?
Do you know what time you like at what point of your life like this? What like do you think anything like something
No.
has to contribute
Nope.
to a nightmare happening?
Nothing in real life was happening that was negative at the time. If anything, there should have been a lot of fucking, turmoil and shitty dreams when YouTube apocalypse was in its worst possible phase.
Like
It's
a
still
fucking
shitty.
laptop
It's still a
starts
giant
attacking
cut on YouTube, but no, that didn't lead to any problems. When I was working jobs I didn't like, I didn't have nightmares. This is, things were going fine, but it was just this fucking wrench thrown in my dreams, and it was just fucking. I haven't had another one like that since. I hope I never have another fucking
That's
one again.
weird. You know what they say though? I think I heard this somewhere, and I think it's true. Whatever you see in your dreams is something like you've seen in your real life. So like if you're driving on a road in your dream and like you drive by some guy standing on the road, like you saw that guy somewhere.
Yeah, so there are a bunch of different theories about dreams, and like one of them is that's one of the theories. Like you have all this data and information that gets into your brain throughout your life. You're always soaking in everything around you, whether or not you even realize it. Your brain's like a supercomputer, taking everything in all the time, and like there's not enough room for it. So at night, your brain's like cleaning itself and getting rid of all the fucking shit, and of that shit. So, like, your brain weaves a story out of it that's like an incoherent story that makes no sense, but you're just dumping it out, so it doesn't matter how it leaves. And that's why, like, the stuff is all one variation or another, or a mix of things that you've seen before. That's
pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's one interpretation. I don't know if that's actually true, or, how accepted that is. I know Freud wrote a lot about dreams and what he thought about dreams. I don't know what to make of them. I don't know what to make of them. I just find the whole thing weird about how, like, here we are, we're conscious, we're talking, and, like, there are rules to what we're doing here. Like, we do this podcast every week, and you go, roughly what time you eat lunch, and there are physical laws. You drop something, it's going to fall, we have gravity. But then you go into dream world, and your brain is just like, all bets are off, bitch. You're mine now.
Yeah.
It just drives you. It's like you're being driven in a dream by your own subconscious.
Yeah. It's fucking weird how that works, dude.
Yeah.
And then people who talk in their sleep, like my wife, she was talking in her sleep, like having a full ass conversation. Like people have told me I talk in my sleep, but that it's like, it sounds like Japanese or mumbling or whatever. And I've never, for real, maybe I speak Japanese in my sleep. But she was like having a conversation about like her job. And I asked her, I was like, you said like this girl's name and like the meeting has to get done by this time or something. She was like, I don't even know like what the fuck that was about. Like I think she knew vaguely what she was talking about. She had a meeting or something.
I mumble. I think I mumble too. I've been known to mumble from time to time, where I'll just be like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's creepy, man. We're fucking zombies when you sleep.
I will say, I do remember in like high school, because I would still be awake but like sleeping. When I would fall asleep in class, I would have scary dreams that like my head would be down on the desk, and like a tractor trailer would be coming at me.
And you always wake up right when you're about to die in dreams. Always.
Yes, and I would be like,
always.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's amazing, man.
And then, like,
that always happens. Have you ever had sleep paralysis? You ever had that?
What is that?
I've only had that like maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, but it is even more terrifying than that nightmare that I just explained to you.
That's the shit when you're awake, right? And you're still sleeping, but you can't move?
Yes. Your consciousness returns to you, but you're paralyzed.
Dude.
You've had that, huh?
Yeah, that shit is fucking creepy.
Scary as it gets. Scary.
It's like, all right, I'm just gonna move my like arm now and get up.
I can't move it. It's scary as fuck. I had a situation like that. Well, this isn't sleep paralysis. This is just like temporary fucking paralysis. But my dad, when I was a kid, he took me hunting at this place upstate. We didn't get anything. We didn't even fucking see anything. But so we were sitting in like the woods. And you have to wake up so fucking early to hunt that it's just, I would never want to hunt ever just because of how fucking early you got to get up.
Same thing with fucking caddying.
Oh, caddying, same thing. I did that for a while too. Yeah.
So you guys got up early to hunt.
So we get up early to hunt, and we find this place in the woods. We sit down or whatever. I'm sitting basically like Indian style. Are you allowed to call it that, or is that not PC anymore? I don't even know.
I didn't think about that, but they probably don't say that anymore.
I'm sitting Native American style. I'm sitting indigenous American style. And so we sit there for like an hour or something, and my dad's like, we haven't seen anything at this spot. Let's go. So he gets up, he starts walking. I'm like, okay, cool. I go to move. My fucking legs don't work. I'm like, whoa. And then I sit there and I'm like, I try again. Nothing. Not a fucking hint, not anything. And then then I panic.
Are you like standing?
No, I can't stand. I can't move my legs. I just can't move them. And I'm trying. And then I start flipping out. I'm like, Dad. My legs don't work. I can't move my legs. He's like, shh. This is a great dad, right? Shh. You're going to scare away the potential thing I want to kill. So he's like, relax, breathe. And then he started, like, he was like, you got to, like, fucking rub your legs. Like,
Yeah.
And so I did that for like 5 minutes. And basically, they got back to the point where it was like they were asleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to work them back to the point where they were asleep. Because what happened was I was sitting on my legs, and the fact that it was like -5 degrees outside, with the fact that I'm sitting on my legs, and my legs were getting like no blood going through them. So my legs like were fucking getting frostbite or some shit, not even realize it. It's a good thing he said to move when he did, because if not, then who knows what the fuck would happen if we sat there for another hour and I couldn't feel my fucking legs.
And you didn't even know because you didn't feel them.
Yeah, I didn't feel them. I was just fucking sitting there. And yeah, it was scary, man. That was another fucking scary thing. I gotta. When I look
that's
back,
like what Joe Rogan talks about. Like, there's different thresholds to our bodies. So it's like there's the threshold of like your legs falling asleep, which like people can deal with because it's just like for a second and they shake it out. Your shit was like underneath the
100%
fucking level of like not even being asleep. Your shits were like like non-existent.
100%. You know, when I look back on my childhood, and this is why it's one of the reasons why it's so fucking hard to have kids, because it's tough, man. Like, I'm lucky I fucking survived my childhood, the shit I did. Like, one time, there's somebody who you and I both know. I won't say his name on air because I don't know if he'd want me to, but he was one of my best friends when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing hockey in my basement. And we were, slapping around this ball, no pun intended.
Pause.
And I'm like behind him and to the right, and he goes to take like a slap shot, and he takes it back. And that shit catches me hard, son. You know where it caught me? Like a millimeter away from my eye. I don't remember if it was my right eye or my left eye, but if I go close to the mirror and I look, I'll be able to tell, because there's like a little itty bitty scar. Because
really?
He gashed my right next to my eye, and if he was like a millimeter over, he would have knocked my eye out. Because he gashed it, and I had to go to the hospital, and they had to give me stitches on it. They did a good-ass job, though, because there's, like, very little scar. Like, when I get super close to the mirror, I could probably see it.
You can see it.
But if it was a little bit over and it hit my eye, I definitely would have lost my eye. Because
That's
he
crazy.
gashed my shit. Yeah,
it's
isn't
crazy
that fucking
how
crazy?
fucking
Like, I just could have
wild.
lost the eye. Like,
Yeah.
just that simple. Like, yeah, Kyle, the eyeless dude? Yeah, that could have just been that. It's just a fucking millimeter. That's it. Just being in... I was going to say the right place at the right time, but I guess being in the right place would have not been hit by the hockey stick at all.
Damn. Yeah, at kids were so fucking reckless that like one thing can throw your life off until you're like, we have a friend who he was playing golf and the same shit happened. He like one of their friends, they were at a mini golf place and he took the putter back like he was swinging like a driver and knocked his fucking front teeth out.
Oh.
And the dude's he's got fake front teeth now because of some shit they did when they were like 7, 8 years old, or not 7, 8, I don't know, older, 13, 14.
I also, I was playing with this same kid. Oh my God, I got fucked up around this kid. I didn't even like put the
Maybe he was
together.
trying to fucking put you out.
Maybe he was. Maybe he didn't like me. Jesus Christ. So we were in his backyard and we were playing touch football, and which I used to fucking love. I used to love running around.
Shit, yeah.
So I was like running, about to get a touchdown, and he tags me from the back, and I fall forward, but I fall in a way where I landed smack dab on my clavicles and broke them. And then when I tell you,
you said you broke your clavicle?
Broke them. It was hairline fractures, but they were broken. But so I couldn't move, because once you move, if I move an inch, I felt the sharpest fucking pain ever. It was such a sharp fucking shooting pain. So I had to go to the doctor. I forget what they did. I forget exactly what they did.
Yeah, what type of surgery is for that shit?
They
Because that's
didn't
like
do
up
surgery,
here, right? Oh yeah, yeah,
because
not
it was
surgery.
hairline fracture, so they didn't have to go in and like fucking like reattach it together. Or
You have to
whatever.
wear one of those like fucking stable things around your head where you.
No, I didn't. I don't
I'm
remember
kidding.
wearing that. No, I never wore that. But they did something. They did something where I couldn't fucking move it because if I moved it a little bit, it would just be the sharpest shooting pain. So I needed both my clavicles to heal, and they did. But it was fucking. That was very painful, man. That was. What did you have any
I
breaks
never
when you were
broke
younger?
anything or anything. My brother once, when he was younger, he like fake broke his arm just because. You remember back in the day, people would get their cast signed and shit like that, and it
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
the
yeah.
shit. So he like got a fake cast for his arm and had everybody sign it in school, but nothing was fucking broken.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But
I
I
know.
never broke anything.
I remember another friend of ours who a name I could bring up off air. He was like the best on our soccer team as kids, and then at like some big game or some shit, he closed the door or his dad closed the door or some shit. His hand was in the door, broke his shit,
God damn.
had his shit in a cast. Yeah, I've
Some
had.
people are just injury prone. Like some people are just clumsy. Like I know a girl who's just super like just will be walking and will just trip on the sidewalk. You're just like, what the? Just like, yeah, I'm just clumsy.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember other injuries I've had. I've had a few. I don't think I've ever had any head injuries. I know my detractors are waiting. Like, when'd you get fucking hit your head,
Yeah.
bitch? When'd you hit your head? Because you're an idiot. Well, how about that? No, I
I
never.
knew a story of I went to a basketball camp once and there was a guy speaking to us in a wheelchair, and he was like, I guess he was nice at wheelchair basketball or something like that. I don't know why he'd be talking to us. So he was talking about how he had a heated up meal that someone made for him, and he put it on his lap,
Oh,
and his like legs started burning because like
oh,
I think he said he took it out of the oven, put it on his legs. Isn't that weird? Like
because he got no feeling down there.
he's got no feeling,
Yeah.
but
So it
his
just
legs
burned his
still have
fucking
feeling.
skin.
So in a way, like there's still skin which has feeling, but
No,
the
no,
inside
no.
of his
The
legs
nerves
don't have feeling.
No, you could be paralyzed in that you don't feel anything. Like your legs are there, but you don't have any nerves there, so you just won't feel it. Somebody could break your fucking leg, you wouldn't even feel it.
But
Because the nervous system controls the pain response. So if you don't have, if your nervous system doesn't, if you've broken your nervous system effectively to the point where you're paralyzed from your lower body, you won't
Yeah.
feel anything. He had to look and see
yeah.
that his shit was burning to take it off and go, oh shit, I'm burning.
So do you think there's any unique people that like their nervous system can be off, but they
Yes.
still feel shit though?
No, there's this thing where no people don't have an injury. They never had an injury, but they don't feel pain. And that while people might say, "Oh, that's awesome," no, it's not because you have to like you don't know. They don't know their limits. They could just break a bone or some shit, and not even realize it, going about their daily business and not get it fixed because they don't fucking feel the pain. I forget the name of it, but that's a thing.
I feel like there's other stuff like that people assume is a really good thing.
The orgasm thing, you
Yeah,
remember that, right?
that,
It was these multiple stories about, people who they can't control their orgasms and it happens all the time. It happened to a woman, it happened to a man, and like however many times a day. And they're like, yeah, it sounds good, but it's fucking torture. Like an orgasm is nice when you want to have an orgasm and you want to have that feeling. But could you imagine sitting there, you're at the bank, you're like, okay, let's go over your mutual funds and like that's fucking horrendous.
Yeah, that would actually be really bad.
Yeah.
There was one girl, because when I sneeze like 7 times in a row.
I know very well.
Or possibly more. But sneezing is sometimes such a good feeling, like just because like you're just letting all your shit out there. And I read an article once. There was like a girl who like she couldn't stop sneezing, like just like she would always sneeze. It was weird. And I was like, yeah, that could be what's up. Like she's just like she's clearing her stuff. But then they were like,
miserable.
yeah, like she's fucking sneezing like the whole day.
It's terrible. I wonder if that happens with farting. There's got to be somebody that has that, right?
There's got to be something.
Yeah.
There's some weird, like the body is weird. There was a news story, and people could look this shit up. There was a guy or girl. They got like a tetanus shot, and once they started when they walked regular, they had like they had a weird walk or something like that.
No,
It
really?
was something fucked up from a tetanus shot. But when they walked backwards, they walked normal and fine.
Stop.
I swear, it's like there's a video of it.
I really hope that shit is fake.
The news, no, I mean, I thought it
I might
was.
call bullshit on this.
You
No.
gotta look it up after. Like the newscaster is like walking with her, like she's walking all fucked up.
Fake
like,
news. I'm going
No,
all Trump on this. Fake news. Fake
and
news.
then he was like, all right, and then starts walking backwards, and they were just like chilling, like it was like nothing was up.
Okay, so this is not really related, but it's somewhat related. But I want to talk about it. So I want to tell a story of the grossest thing I've ever eaten. Have you ever? What do you know? What the grossest thing you've ever eaten is? I know some people who've had fucking alligator. Have you ever had that? I've never had that.
Fuck no, I stay away from weird shit.
Yeah, I usually do too. But then again,
You ate this intentionally or not intentionally?
not intentionally.
Oh, okay.
You and
know
I
what
have the diets of like a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, chicken fingers and
Yeah,
French fries.
give me the chicken fingers and fries.
Dude, when I go to a restaurant, it's just like like that's the default.
Me
And
too.
I saw a
It's
meme
fucking
the other day.
delicious.
It was I think it was that kid from the Cleveland Cavaliers game. You know that
Yeah,
meme?
yeah,
'cause I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah. That picture, I
like,
love that picture.
went
It's the
in
best
OD
picture
hard.
ever. Yeah, it's great. I've used
It had
that.
him, and it was just like me looking at the menu before
When I
I
know
know
we
about
get the same shit.
chicken fingers and French fries.
Yeah, I retweeted that. It was fucking hilarious. No, that's yeah, that's me. Like I love just getting the standard shit. I eat. Yeah, it's probably bad for our health, but it's so good. You know what it is? The way
There's
to
nothing
really
wrong
do
with eating shit that's good.
the way that we really got to do it is if you want to be healthy is just do the shit where you're on point 6 days a week and give yourself a cheat day, and in your cheat day go nuts. You know, that's probably the best way to do it while still like satisfying your craving but being healthy, you know.
I listened to a podcast and they were saying that the dude worked throughout the whole work week, Monday through Friday was good, and then on the weekend would just OD, do like cocaine and all this other shit, but then during the week would be good again.
Yeah, weekend
That's probably a little
warriors.
different though, because that shit's addicting, right?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean,
Food's
food can
addicting.
be addicting. Yeah, especially like the kind of food that we're talking about, like fast food, fucking greasy, delicious shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, a lot of people do that. There's a lot of weekend warriors out there who,
Like drug wise?
drug wise, yeah. I don't know if
Oh.
you remember, but one of our friends' dads was in a foreign country giving a speech. 'Cause he's a doctor, a well-known doctor, and other doctors came up to him and offered, like, "You want to come do heroin with us?"
What?
Like that's some shit they just do. They'll do it on the weekend. Like, yeah, we shoot up on like Saturday night, and then we'll go to work Monday. What's the problem? And then I'll heal like a fucking gunshot victim or some shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. That's the weekend warriors, man.
Speaking of heroin, I think I saw. So I went downtown for work to do like this charity stuff last week, and I was in downtown Chicago. I think I saw a dude in his car because we were in like some bus doing heroin.
It's possible. Was he injecting shit?
No, it was in. Oh, maybe it was crack because it was in.
It was
It
a
was in
pipe?
like a. It was in a pipe.
It was a pipe. Yeah, it's either
Yeah.
crack or weed.
I think it was crack.
It might have been crack. How was he? How was he acting? How was he reacting?
I don't know. He just
Was
did
he
it and went through
sleeping
the light.
after? Like, was he like chilling, or was he
No, I don't know. I don't know.
energetic? If he's energetic, it's crack.
I just saw the pipe.
If
I
he's
don't
out
think
there-
you don't put weed in a pipe though.
You can, sure.
Oh, really?
Depends what kind of. I mean, I'd have to see the pipe. A crack pipe looks different from a like
It's
a
all
weed.
musty and shit, right?
A weed pipe would be probably a little bigger. Like it would be bigger, and you put the
Yeah,
weed
no,
on
no.
top.
His shit was crack.
Oh,
then.
small. It was crack
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it was like a little tube.
Yeah,
like,
that's crack pipe. That's crack pipe.
damn,
In
like
fact-
that shit to me, I was like, that's sort of bugged out that this dude is just doing crack in his like fucking car.
You know, they used to sell. I don't know if they still do. They probably still do. There would be these gas stations that sell one rose. It would be like one little rose, and you'd be like, "Who the fuck would buy like one rose for mad cheap?" Like it's just weird to have at a gas station. But no, what they're really selling is you take out the rose, and the little container it came in is a crack pipe.
What?
Yeah. There's a lot of little shit like that going on, like
Yo.
at gas stations. Like they got mad boner pills too at the gas station.
Oh, they have weird shit. If you ever look by the register, that
Yep.
yeah, there's like weird.
Shit'll be rhino this, rhino, yeah. Like that's all like
shit
this
has to
shit'll
be
get
illegal.
your dick hard. Well, yeah, most of it is illegal, and like they'll get pulled, and then they'll just come out with a new product. Like they'll call it Rhino, and then Rhino 2, and then Rhino 3, because they'll get pulled. Because what it is they just get like trace amounts of Viagra and Cialis, or whatever. So the pill will be like 25% Viagra, and the rest of it'll be whatever, some bullshit. But they're just legally selling fucking dick pills, basically.
God damn.
Yeah, it's wild, right? They used
It's
to do
probably
that.
more awkward buying like condoms, which is more accepted than buying that shit. Where if you bought that shit, the guy would just be like, "Oh, okay." Whereas that shit is way worse.
Workout supplements too. They
Yeah.
always ended up pulling them because they'd be like, "Oh, that shit has like fucking like steroids
Mice dick in it. Yeah.
in it." Mice dick.
That's the shit that Lamar Odom was taking when they found him at the brothel. He was taking all those weird,
Oh, gas
like they
station
showed the
boner pills?
dick pills he was taking.
Yeah.
It was like called like Sonic Boom and like
Yeah.
weird like
all the
Afro
time.
turd.
Yup, all the time. I used to take like those pre-workout drinks. I used to take
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still out there, but the Jacked
Yeah,
3D shit.
NO Explode was one.
I don't know if the Jacked one was pulled, but I know there's a bunch of shit that's been pulled.
That shit used to get you hype.
Oh, that shit is a drug, son. It's like when I look
People
back at it,
live
I'm like,
by
why
that
did I
shit.
take that shit? What?
People like live by those pre-workout energy drinks.
Yeah, because it's just an upper. Like people don't know they're taking drugs. Like it gets you. It's like you drink. It makes you tingly, son. You know something's wrong when you're getting tingly when you drink that shit.
Yeah.
My body was tingly. I would
Yeah.
drink the Jacked. I'd get this tingly feeling and this warm feeling, and then it would be like an upper high for like maybe 2 hours or so.
Did you
that
like need
shit's
it?
Not healthy. No, but it did intensify your workout because you're
Yeah,
high.
sure.
You're high as
Yeah.
fuck. Like you know how else you can intensify your workout? If you take fucking Adderall or snort a line of coke before a workout, you'll work out harder, but it's probably not healthy for you. It's
Yeah.
probably like, doing a number on your heart, beating too fast, and fucking
Fuck
your
yeah.
liver. Who knows what the fuck you're doing to your liver, your kidneys when you take that shit? So I used pre-workouts for a while, but yeah, it was,
They definitely still have that shit because
Oh,
I know
of
people
course.
to like
of course.
take that shit.
And I'm sure there's some that are decent that are like,
Yeah.
this isn't bad for you, For a
Anything
while.
that's gonna like fucking get your heart rate up and like get you
Yeah.
like extra energy just doesn't seem natural, you know?
Oh, yeah, but coffee's like the same thing. Like, coffee will bring you up. I mean, that could be effectively a pre-workout drink, a little coffee
I guess so.
drink or something.
Yeah, that's why I never understood. Like, I guess there's different performance enhancing drugs, but you've always said this. Like, anything could be a performance enhancing drug.
A lot of things. If you take coffee before you fucking go
Yeah.
to bat at a baseball game, or you doing performance enhancing drugs, well, technically, yeah, you're sharper than you would be if you didn't take it. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Yeah. There's a lot of people who take Adderall because they're prescribed the Adderall, but that's definitely a performance enhancing drug. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. That's going to enhance your fucking performance.
Yeah, true.
So is that, what was I going to say? Oh, Green Magnum is another one I took, a pre-workout drink. There was, when I was my biggest, I took creatine. Did you ever take creatine?
Never did creatine, but I don't know why I didn't do it. But
That shit gets you like watery though, I think too. Like
Yeah,
people see
yeah.
gains fast, but
Yeah.
it's because you're putting on a lot of water weight.
and then
So-
once you get off it, like that
Yeah,
shit
you
just
lose the
turns
water weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like flabby and shit.
Yeah, but I used that for a while. Yeah, I was a fucking workout nut for a while. Like a
Yeah, you got into
weightlifting
it.
Nut for a while. Yeah, I was talking about the other day. It was from like, what were the dates? I'm trying to remember. So I probably started like 07 ish,
Mm-hmm.
and then just went straight to like 2011. And then since then I've been lazy as fuck because I've been super busy with the show and stuff.
I think there was a dude at New York Sports Club. His name was Guy. I'll just say it. And that was like his name. He was like a bald dude, and he like befriended me and like knew everyone in the gym, and he was a cool dude. Then I later found out that like he was gay, and I think he was trying to hit on me.
Mm-hmm.
And like nothing against that, but like he hit me up like 2 years ago, and like texted me randomly. He was like, "Hey, you remember me from the gym?" I was just like,
You definitely didn't answer. Did you
I
answer?
was just like, "No, yeah, I definitely didn't answer
Yeah.
that shit."
Yeah.
But I definitely remembered him. But I definitely
Yeah.
didn't tell him that I remembered him.
Yeah, I get that.
People are weird in the gym, man.
lot of gay
I don't
guys
try
are-
and talk to people.
A lot of gay guys are into me. There was a Sexy Kyle Twitter account.
Really?
And, yeah, somebody created like a Sexy Kyle Twitter account. It's like parody, but you
Yeah,
know.
that's a compliment, though.
Yeah, I mean it was funny, but I don't know if it's still around or not. But the second I saw it, I was like 92% certain a dude runs that. In fact, I'm going 98% certain a dude runs that. There's no
Wow.
girl who's like, I like Kyle, I like him so much, I'm gonna set up a fucking Twitter account where I have pictures of him and fucking. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
For a girl to do it,
A girl
maybe.
did not do it, man. I'm telling. First of all, the demographics of my show were, and it's actually good compared to other shows that are like mine. But I'm like 87% male. My audience is, which
Are
is
there a lot of female liberal males? Female? What the fuck?
yeah. There's most females are left leaning. Yeah.
But that are like that have their own like show or something like that that are like
Oh,
outspoken.
There's
Like,
a decent number of very politically active, you know, females. Like TYT hired Nomiki Konst. I'm sorry, Nomiki. I don't know how the fuck to say it. Usually people fuck up her first name. I got her first name right. I didn't get her last
There's
name.
the one girl you've done an interview with before or something like that.
Yep, she's great, very politically active, does a podcast too, along with being a journalist. Katie Halper is another one.
Well,
There's a
because
lot
I've
of-
always seen on like the conservative side, there's always just like not being like mean, but there's usually some smoking hot chick who's like has
Tomi
a show.
Lahren, you're thinking of?
Yeah,
You're thinking of Tomi Lahren?
but all the ladies on Fox News and all this shit, like Megyn Kelly, like I'm sure they know their shit,
Yeah,
but like would they get the same like buzz if they were
liberal.
like liberal?
Well, liberals in general. I mean, there's not definitely on TV. There's just no liberals on TV. MSNBC is the best we got, and they're not even liberal. They're just Democratic apologists.
Like like Rachel Maddow is probably the most popular one.
Yeah, she's the most well known, probably supposedly liberal commentator, but she's just like a Democratic commentator. Yeah, no, there are a lot of good ones, but they have to fight from the ground up. They're not given a platform. Like Tomi Lahren, who the fuck is she? Out of nowhere, she was given a show on The Blaze. Are you kidding me? Like fucking Katie Halper and Rania Khalek and the rest of them are so much more experienced and have been involved in politics so much longer, and nobody's just giving them a show, So it's just,
That's why I never really saw, because I was listening to Charlemagne the God, right?
Yeah,
From
of
Hot
course.
97. He's actually like he's pretty
he's great.
smart.
No, I love that guy. He's great.
He said he took a lot of heat because he gave Tomi Lahren or whatever fuck her name is a compliment, or people thought it was complimenting her, saying that there should be like a good-looking black girl that should come out and like start her own political stuff like the way Tommy does, and people can look up to her,
Yeah.
And people gave him flag or slack, whatever the hell it's called, because
Yeah.
he was complimenting her. But he was just saying that she has a platform, and
Yeah. So Tomi Lahren is an interesting case because you can't deny that her numbers on Facebook are ridiculous. Like nobody watches The Blaze, the TV network she was on, so maybe her numbers there weren't great. It was definitely the best on The Blaze, but that's not saying much. It's like being the tallest kid in kindergarten. On Facebook though, she got good numbers, so she has genuine market appeal. But that's not to say she's intelligent or anything. She's just doing the conservative talking points and doing them in a witty way and delivering.
Do you think they're almost so smart enough? So this was another conspiracy I've heard, that Bill O'Reilly, like Harvard graduate, right? He's so
Ivy League.
smart that he sort of is playing a role that he just knows that the people he's talking to
It's
are so
possible.
dumb that he gets them to buy in.
So there are some conservative commentators where I'd say yes, I think they're playing a role. I'm convinced that that Sean Hannity's playing a role. He's always convinced me that he's playing a role because he says things that I'm like, you don't believe that. I don't think you believe that. Or he'll be such a brazen hypocrite that I'm like, you realize that you contradicted yourself and you said the opposite under Obama, and now you're saying. So for Sean Hannity, yes. O'Reilly, I think he believes it. I think he believes every word he's saying.
Really?
Yeah, I do. For O'Reilly, I do.
It's just so weird because like they're college graduate, like his professors he's probably had professors on both sides of like the fucking coin that like they've made him think that like just basic like knowledge shit, like you can't be that dumb to not.
Yeah, I mean
like,
he thinks he's smart, man. I mean, and he's quick-witted, but I don't think he's right about stuff.
Yeah.
So he'll the tide goes in, tide goes out thing. When he spoke about God, tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that. So there's a God. It's like, okay, I think he believes it. I think he thinks like, well, that's to him that proves like there's this design and the design couldn't have come from nothing. So there's a God, and that's the end of the conversation. And the atheist he's talking to was like, what?
Like what?
Because tide goes in, tide goes out. It's like, actually, we can explain that. It has to do with the moon, and so that's been known for a long time. So it was a bad example, but no, I think he believes the shit he's saying. But Tomi Lahren, that's
Wasn't
actually
she liberal in college? Like, didn't they
yes,
have her
a
on
while
some?
ago, yeah. But that's I think that's why Glenn Beck really got rid of her though, is because he was nervous and jealous that she was overcoming him because she is. Glenn Beck had his moment in the sun back early in the Obama administration when he was on Fox News drawing conspiracy theories on a chalkboard.
Mm-hmm.
But since he lost his show and he started The Blaze, he's now like super irrelevant. And so on his network, you have this up and comer who's like an actual star who gets views on Facebook. I don't agree with her on fucking anything, but she has market appeal. She's young, she's attractive, she's quick-witted. I think she says stupid things, but it lands with the conservative audience. Glenn's not landing with a conservative audience anymore. So I think part of why she got fired was that he was jealous of her. I do think
The Blaze is on Fox News, or it's
no, the
its own
Blaze
thing?
is its own network, but it's a
I
shitty.
didn't even know that.
That's the point. It's a shitty lower level network, and they have, they don't have a deal with many fucking outlets that would carry it, and
That's just another dumb thing. Instead of like realizing you have someone who's talented that people like, they get fucking jealous and like push them out instead of fucking empowering them to like
yeah, it's an ego
bring
game.
more people to the Blaze. Like
Yeah.
I've heard of the Blaze, but I know what the fuck it was. But I think that lady Tommy was on there.
Yeah,
You know,
she's the most popular on there for sure. By the way, going all the way back, because I bet you people are like, fucking talk about the gross thing you ate. We never even got to that. So the grossest thing I ever ate. I was driving with a friend of mine, and his mother owned an authentic Mexican restaurant, and he was like, "Oh, let's get some food there or whatever." So, I don't even know what I had. Probably had some delicious tacos. It was fucking delicious. But he was like, "Oh, try this too." He gave me like a little toothpick with what looked like just a little piece of meat on the top of it.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I mean, fucking, why not? I'll try this." He's like, "Yeah, go ahead. It's good. You'll like it." So I bite into it. I take like 3 little bites, spit it out, start spitting. It was fucking so disgusting. It was the grossest thing ever.
cow dick or some shit.
That's not a bad guess. It was cow tongue.
Oh,
And you know what it tasted like?
like cow tongue.
Exactly like you'd think a fucking cow tongue is going to taste.
Oh,
Like if you look at a cow tongue and go, I bet that shit, if I were to put that in my mouth, is the most disgusting fucking, that's exactly how it tasted.
was it like salty?
First of all, dude,
It was like chewy?
It was like rubbery and
Oh.
and gross rubbery, exactly like it looks like it would taste. Is exactly how it fucking tastes. It was like rubbery, and I took like 2 bites, and it was so fucking like grossly flavorful.
Was it some shit that was normal for people to eat there? Like, why did they have some cow tongue?
I don't know,
Like,
man. I don't know. I don't know if that's some normal shit, but there's a lot of gross normal shit. Like there's what is it? Fucking chitlins, which is just pig fucking intestines. That's some shit people eat.
Someone was just telling me about they were at, I think it was Chinese restaurant or Japanese, and they had like chicken toes, like, and you have to like eat the inner part of like the webbing and stuff like that. And I was like, "What did it taste like?" And they were like, "It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just like." It was just something that you had to eat. Like,
There was a story that I covered on my show a while ago of a Chinese restaurant. They got caught. They got caught taking out of the road a dead deer that probably had been sitting there for like over a week with some fucking rotting meat. And they brought it back to their spot, and health food inspectors walked in, and they see the fucking dead deer chilling on the table with its fucking antlers and everything. Just sitting there, and they were using the meat in the food.
that's disgusting.
That's
like
why,
that-
I mean, people always make the jokes like, oh, you're getting Chinese food? Oh, what are you going to have, cat? Like you're having
Yeah.
cat?
You think that shit's true though?
I mean, look, there are where I've had good Chinese food, I've had bad Chinese food. When I've had the
Yeah.
food from the bad Chinese places, I think, yeah, this is not right. Like this meat I'm eating is barely
That's
meat.
true.
Like I've had meat
but
where I'm
that's
like, this
weird.
isn't even meat.
Because there's some restaurants, like there's some shitty, disgusting restaurants that make the most banging food.
That's true. You know what I learned, which really creeps me out and makes me sad? the best fucking chicken fingers I've ever had, it's from a place where like they just never fucking cleaned out the deep fryer, and that's why that shit is delicious. Because they haven't cleaned that shit out in like 3 years, and it's just been deep fry after deep fry after deep fry, and that shit is dirty as fuck. But they made the fucking chicken fingers taste like heaven. And
That's usually when this shit tastes better. Yeah.
Isn't that sad, man? Like
any like barbecue spot I go to, been to a barbecue spot I went to one in Kansas City that was in the hood. Like shit was fucking hood.
And it was banging, right? The best food ever.
Banging. But they had like, it was from like a slow cooker.
Yeah.
That was from like 1477. Like dead ass that like they didn't clean that shit. And it looked like it was fucking from like some like Civil War shit. It was just like the shit had just been through fucking war. But it was so good because it was just like the fucking smoke and the flavor from all of the shit that had been in there had built up over time.
Yeah.
So like if someone came in and was like, oh yeah, like this needs to be cleaned because it's disgusting. Be like, no, you're gonna kill all the flavor.
Yeah, that's I mean, look, when you fucking make a steak, you know, the general rule is the less you cook it, the more flavorful it is. So like,
yeah, that's true too.
You get like a medium rare steak or something, that shit is gonna be tasty as fuck. You get a well done steak, you just feel like you're eating fucking charcoal or some shit.
Yeah,
like it doesn't. You don't get any flavor out of it. So that's like a fucked up trick that's played on us. Is like, oh, it's worse for you, and it's more tasty, but it's like raw fucking meat from an animal. Like raw, nearly raw, bloody, fucking disgusting meat. It's like, I mean, think about it. There's shit that's fucking really good for you that tastes like nuts.
Yeah.
Fucking broccoli. Like,
ugh.
I don't fucking like there's some kind of broccoli, if you do it a certain way, it's like, okay, this is tolerable.
Well, cauliflower's whack, but if you throw some cheese on that bitch, it's not that bad.
Cheese makes anything better. That's just a fact of life. But like broccoli, why can't it be that the shit that fucking is healthy is like, oh, the cheeseburger. Like, go have a fucking dripping cheeseburger, or go have
like
a fucking...
you've heard the doctor, go have a box of Oreos.
I know you want those Ruffles chips. Look, they're good. You have to eat them. Go eat them.
Oh.
Yeah,
why did it have to be that way?
I know.
Like shit.
It's fucked up. It's fucked
Well, isn't
up.
it weird? I mean, even like the same shit goes with underwear. Like the most grimiest pair are usually your favorite because they like fit you the best way. They're the most comfiest on your balls.
I'm like, that's all true. And I'm like the worst when it comes to just dressing in general. Like, when I'm not on air, I have a fucking closet full of shit. And I always pick like the same 4 fucking things.
So weird with work, like why they make you dress up in some uncomfortable ass clothes. Like if a job was just like, come in sweatpants and like your favorite t-shirt, people would probably get more work done.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. I mean, look, I'm a hypocrite because I wear the button down for my thing most of the time. But like, yeah, who the fuck made these rules? Who decided one day like, no, you have to.
We all have to wear a suit,
a tie, and with the. Like, you have to take fucking 15 minutes in the morning to get it right and to tie it 3 fucking times. And, like, why?
Like,
Who decided this was the uniform?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. But, like, back in the day, dudes used to just wear full suits. Like, even probably summertime when it was, like, fucking 90 degrees and shit, they were wearing suits back in, like, old school Wall Street.
Don't even get me started. So, everybody knows I like golf. But one of the things about golf that was fucked up is that, especially at private clubs, those motherfuckers have a dress code. So it would be 100 degrees in the summer, and at this one club, they'd be like, we don't allow shorts. What do you mean you don't allow shorts? We don't allow shorts. You have to wear pants when you come. So you're telling people to go out there in 100-degree weather, and you want them to play 18 holes of golf in the scorching heat, which they're out there for 5 fucking hours, in 100 degrees wearing pants? Like, what's the fucking issue if you see somebody's leg? What, are you going to cum yourself? What, are we in Saudi Arabia? What kind of bullshit is this? But it's just these arbitrary fucking rules.
Yep.
Like, we have these rules. But why? They don't make any sense. Like, what was the original fucking reason for it? Yeah.
They had one, this was another podcast I heard. They had to take a swimming test to be a lifeguard it was like, I think it was a Speedo. But they also have like those shits that Michael Phelps wears where like it goes above your knee. And the guy was like wearing those and he was just like, no, like I've done the testing. Like this is the same weight, this and that. And they were just like, no, you have to do it in the Speedo.
Wow.
It's just stupid fucking rules that people like abide by because it's like history has said you have to do it this way.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, why?
Yeah. I think the argument they make is, I'm just guessing, that you have more weight holding you back when you go to save somebody, so you will got to wear the lightest thing possible, which is the Speedo. But like, man, the last thing I ever want to look at is a dude in a Speedo. That is just so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, like, what is that dude trying to get accomplished? He's just like a fucking, what's the word, voyeur, is it? Is it a voyeur? A dude who like just wants people to fucking see his shit? He's like, see, look at me, I'm just standing here. Is that my penis? Oh, I guess it is my penis. Like, you know what
whoops.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't, you're gonna see the package in that shit. Like, why you fucking, I mean, look, their prerogative. They get to wear whatever the fuck they want, and I'm just being a dick here. Being a dick while talking about dicks. I'm being an asshole, but like, you get to wear whatever you want. But I'm just saying, it's obnoxious. It just looks fucking obnoxious. But
it looks weird when you go to South Beach and there's a lot of Europeans there, and you'll just see like a crowd of kids or wearing like just some whatever bathing suits, like that we've known as bathing suits, like some shorts looking shit. And you see a European dude just walking in his Speedo, and you're just like, it just doesn't fucking looks like the dude's all hairy and fucking shit.
Always got to be a hairy dude.
Not even in shape or anything, but like just fucking rocking some banana yellow ass fucking Speedo.
It's just their shit. Like, that's their shit. But I'm a hypocrite because then, like, we'd prefer females being in shit that's smaller too.
I'd also prefer going to nude beaches, and like when I would grow up and they'd be like, oh, this part of the beach is a nude beach, I'll be like, oh, that's what's up. It'd always be like the wackest fucking chicks with like their tits out, and I'll just be like, this sucks.
That's gotta be how it is, man, all the time. Like, oh, I can't wait to go and see all of the fucking hot people there who can't wait to show themselves. It's always like an 82-year-old dude flopping his dick around. Like, yeah. Like, they have a lot of, like at country clubs, they had this fucking issue that annoyed the shit out of me. Like, when my dad used to take me to the golf club when I was a kid, we'd be in the locker room, and he'd be like putting on his windbreaker or some shit, or getting his tees out of the locker or whatever, and I'd just be sitting there, and then a dude walks by butt ass naked,
dick all up in your face.
No reason, just like he just came out the shower, cleaned himself off with the towel, put the towel back, and then walked naked.
Yep.
Like, what are you doing?
He made it more. Yeah, I've seen that so many times. Like, dudes make it like harder on themselves when they could just put the towel on. They like hold the towel like over their shoulder and on their arm. Yes. It's just like, just throw it around your waist. But you don't have to hold it.
You know damn well that like the intent is to be fucking creepy and sexual. Like they would swear up. They would be outraged that I would even like bring this up. Like they would be like, "No, what are you talking about? It's just a normal fucking thing at the country club where you walk to your locker and you just, it's not sexual at all." You know they're getting their fucking jollies off. When I was sitting there like a fucking 11-year-old kid with my dad, and they're walking by like, 11-year-old kid, hello. It's like, you know that's fucking going on.
That's got to be a fucking European mindset too when they're wearing those Speedos. Like, it can't be a comfort thing because that shit has to ride up on your dick. That shit is not comfortable.
That shit is not comfortable. Hugs your shit. In fact,
that's what I'm saying.
I will argue till the death that fucking boxers are superior to briefs, man. I will argue because I
wear briefs. I get too scrunched up in my jeans. I wear tight jeans.
But you got to get the breathing room, though, dog.
I know. Well,
I guess if you're wearing jeans, you never get the breathing room anyway because you're in jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're fucked either way. But, like, I don't have to wear jeans that much. So
you ever have to, like, rotate your, like, you're wearing your jeans, you got to, like, rotate your dick in somewhere public?
All the fucking time. It's one of the main reasons I never wear jeans. Like, I don't want to.
Jeans suck.
They suck. They fucking suck.
They do.
For me, the best thing is you throw on some boxers, throw on some sweatpants, and my shit just dangles. Like, there's no fucking, not a hint of like, oh, it's scrunched up, it feels like this, it feels like that. I hate it I fucking hate it whenever I put on jeans. And even if it does
scrunch up in some sweatpants, it's easily like movable.
Yes. And I'm a well-known dick readjuster. Like, I'm well known. I'm famous for my dick readjusting. Like, I
Yeah.
will be in places where people will be like, don't do the oh, okay, you're fucking dick readjusting. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
family will be like, stop fucking touching your shit. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm in this shit. I gotta move it.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it is in the summertime, like, it's a fucking hassle to just have a dick. Like, you got a dick chilling, and you're out doing some shit, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Now I gotta fucking scratch this shit, and I gotta try to make it look like I'm not scratching this shit. I gave up on that a minute ago. I already act like an 85-year-old
Scratch it
dude.
out.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
People definitely be like, yo, is Kyle on some fucking perverted shit? I always see him touching his shit. No, I'm trying to get my shit right. I'm out in
People
public.
always give me shit because, like, when I fall asleep, I'll put my hand in my, like,
Always, me too,
sweatpants,
yeah.
You know? And people are always like, oh, it's disgusting. It's like, but I'm just touching it. Like, I'm not touching my dick.
You're not touching your dick. You're just hands in your pants. That's just what it
Yeah.
is. Like, that's some nap shit. Like,
You
that's
know what else
you
I do is weird? When I brush my teeth, I'll put my hand, like, on my
Hip?
waist. Yeah, or hip or whatever. I don't know if it's for, like,
It
stability.
strikes me as like a British thing to do, even though it's definitely not. Maybe like chip chip cheerio.
There's weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. When I brush my teeth, yeah, I don't think I do anything when I brush my teeth.
What do you think that is with the hand in the pant, like, while you're taking a nap or some shit? Because I know my dad used to do it, like, religiously. Like,
Yeah,
not
it
like,
might be. It's
is
either
it
a
you keep
comfort
your hand
thing.
warm?
It's probably a comfort thing. You know,
Oh.
it's kind of like it's just a default thing. Like I do that too, and I also when I sleep, I'm usually in the fetal position. Like I think that's just a fucking comfort thing. It just goes all the way back to when you're a fucking kid or some shit. You know, like you were.
Yeah, because even kids, even babies do that. I feel like they keep.
They do
keep
it
their
more
hand
than
in their
anybody.
diaper.
Yeah, like they'll just put and they'll be like, "What are you doing?" It's like, no, they're
It's
just
just
fucking
natural.
hand is chilling there, especially when you're watching TV or some shit and you're laying back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes this happens to me all the time where it'll be like I like to keep it a little chilly and like it'll be cold and my body will be fine, but my hands will be cold. And that's
Yeah.
like prime time for me to just shove my fucking hand right in my pants and just let it chill. Like you get a little bit of cover and you're good.
Yeah.
Damn, we probably told everybody way too much.
I don't even know like what we were talking about this whole ass fucking.
Me eating cow tongue.
Oh yeah. Would you do Fear Factor? Like, would you
Fuck no.
would you do that for money?
Nah.
Like, eat some grimy shit?
I mean, for the right price, probably, but you gotta like. My gag reflex would kick in pretty quickly. Like
Well, yeah, that's
I'd be
true.
like very quickly.
Do you have a strong stomach? Because my stomach sucks. Like, if I eat something that I know is like dirty or grimy, I'll like that shit will go right through me.
I'm good if once I get it in, I'm fine. But
Well,
the process of getting it down there is the problem. Like I wouldn't be able to. Like that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
My gag reflex is strong, but once it's in, it's in. You know what I'm saying?
So wait, when you ate the cow tongue, you digested it or like
No. I
you
took like 3 quick bites, realized it was the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever had, and I spit it out.
Oh really?
I couldn't swallow it.
Oh true.
I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't eat all that shit. Yeah, I've never eaten anything, but I don't think even with like money on the table, if I was on Fear Factor and they're like, you got to eat this cockroach and bite his head off, I couldn't.
Again, it depends on the price. Like if you're about to throw me $100,000 to eat one
yeah.
fucking cockroach, I'll force myself to do it. But what are the rules? Like, am I allowed to fucking throw up a little bit, gag a little bit, like? Because that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think if you get it down, that's what used to count on Fear Factor. Like they would be gagging all the time.
But
But if
once
they,
you
like,
feel the fucking crawling and shit, like if you, I don't know if I'd be able to get it down. I'd take like a bite.
You ever watch? I think it was like David Blaine would like swallow a goldfish and then like spit that shit back up.
Yeah, I've seen David Blaine, Chris Angel. I used to watch some of that shit.
Some of that magic shit they do is fucking crazy.
David Blaine, I think, was better. Chris Angel gets stupid. Like one time he did a show where he raises somebody from the dead. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm watching
I
fucking
didn't see that.
TV. Like it's on TV, so I know there's fucking editing and shit going on.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
not impressed by this shit. You know, you could like see the cuts and whatnot.
David Blaine used to do like the weird shit. Like he would when he froze himself in ice and stuff like that. Like that's not even magic. That's just like
Staying there for really long. Yeah.
yeah. That's more psychological.
Yeah, I don't know
shit.
how he did that stuff. I don't know. I think he was the best one. You know, if he was around in like I often think about this. If he was around in like the year 1750, he could just say, "I'm a god," And everybody go, yep, you're a god.
If he
Look at
just
what you
pulled
just
out one
did. You're a
magic
god.
trick, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. All the shit he did, are you kidding me? If he was around in like 1750, people would be like, you're a god. We believe you.
Yeah.
Blaneyology is your fucking Blaneyanity.
Well, that's why people like idolize like Houdini and all that shit, because it's like it was just fascinating what they were doing, right?
Yeah, it's, he's still known to this day. But then there's like ethical guys who do it, like Penn and Teller. Like they let you know, like, we are doing a trick, and I'm not going to explain to you how it works, but just know we are doing a trick.
Yeah.
And that
they're good as fuck too.
Oh, I saw them live. It was great. I saw them in Vegas.
They're good, right?
Oh, they're great. They're amazing. They get like a little bit political with it too. Penn's a hardcore libertarian, so I don't agree with him on everything, but I think the thing
Penn's the one who speaks, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, Penn's the one who speaks.
Imagine the other one was like super conservative and just like he never speaks.
They bring him on the shows and he just sits there like, yes, good point. We agree. Anyway, moving on. So they did something about like civil liberties or something in their show that I thought was good. I agreed with it.
Really?
Yeah.
They had a show on, I think it was Channel 11 for a minute, like
yeah.
Fool me something.
Yeah, if they can describe how the trick is done or whatever. Yeah.
But they knew every fucking trick.
Yeah,
it was like incredible.
Seasoned fucking magicians, man. They know exactly what they're doing.
But that's what I mean. People love magicians because it taps into some like inner like
some primal
majestic shit.
People want to believe in something that's greater than them,
Yeah.
And sometimes that manifests with magicians. Honestly, sometimes that manifests with shit like fucking what happened with Trump. Like there are people that fucking his voters looked up to him like, he's gonna make America great again. He's daddy Trump.
Tapped into some inner next level shit.
Because they think, oh my God, he's a billionaire. He's so successful. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's built this incredible brand. I equate him in my mind with success, and he earned it. And he's gonna do that with the country. And I was gonna fix the country. It happens, man. Like that's what it is. People looked at that like, oh, he's gonna save the day.
That's
they
like
believe in something bigger than them.
Do you ever? I'm so fascinated when I watch this show, and sadly I have watched it. It's the Long Island Medium, Teresa Caputo.
Oh, I've never watched it, but that's like what's his face? John Edward, crossing over with John Edward.
John Edwards, the
medium. He talks to people from the other side.
But there's the John Edwards, the political dude too, right?
That's John Edwards. I'm talking about John Edward.
He talks to the dead people?
He says he does, but his show got canceled when he tried to do one after 9/11 with the victims of 9/11. People were like, you scumbag fuck. Like, this is not real, and now you're full of yourself, and you fucking bit off more than you could chew. You're fired.
Yeah, I don't know how some people believe that shit. A
lot of people do, bro. I know a lot of people who believe in, like, fucking ghosts and shit.
Well, no, ghosts is a weird thing, because I don't believe in ghosts. But I've seen some people that I like. I think it was in college. There was like some hood ass kids at the first college I went to, on some like shit where they wouldn't be lying. They're like, "Yo, like I was sleeping and then I like woke up and I looked down the hall and there was a fucking ghost right there." And I was just like, "Come on, man!" Like they had no reason to impress anybody, no reason. And I was just like, it almost made me believe that like there was some ghost. The way. I have a vivid memory of this kid telling me that he saw a ghost, and I was like, maybe that shit is true. Maybe there are some fucking ghosts.
I don't doubt that they believe that. Like, I don't doubt that they're being sincere about what they think they saw. I'm just saying there's a logical explanation for it. There's got to be. There's always some sort of logical explanation, man.
Like
always.
When people say, like, oh, like this fucking weird window just opened, like, there has to be something that happened.
I've had experiences where I'm like, oh, that was fucking weird. But then you just, you think about it, you're like, well, something could either be coincidence or something could be logically explained.
Yeah.
There's just no evidence. Like, if there really was ghosts and a connection from another fucking planet, like, we have brilliant fucking scientists that put people on the moon and people who can cure fucking diseases, people who figured out how to make the internet and shit. Like, there would be some sort of proof or evidence or verification where they'd explain it. Like, oh, yeah, we know that they connected with us and they're communicating through this medium. But no, there's never anything. It's always one dude. Like, somebody's always got to tell somebody, like, yo, let me tell you what happened. Like, what do you... So what do you mean? Like, why didn't it happen when both of us were there?
Yeah.
It's like, well, it always happens to one dude in one place, and then he's got to come and tell everybody. Just like with all religions too. Like
That's a good point.
One dude shows up and he's like, "Yo, I just got this shit from the mountaintop from God." Like, it's never like, "Yo, me and Fred and Steve and Jake
all saw it. We all saw it.
we all saw the same shit."
And yeah, you're right. And they just get the gullible ass people to believe it, and
Yeah.
start spreading it to more gullible ass people.
Yeah, of course. And then you build legends off that shit.
Yeah, you're so right. There's never like two. There were never two people in a room that were like, "I saw the ghost too."
I'm telling you, it's always just one creepy ass dude. Usually that dude's trying to fuck somebody. And he's like, "Yo, God told me that you gotta give me the pussy."
Yeah.
That's what fucking
like, yo, he wasn't. I didn't see nothing.
Joseph Smith did that. The Mormonism guy, the guy who founded Mormonism. Like, this dude was alive like 18 minutes ago. Like, he just died recently, but he founded a fucking religion. And apparently, like, he used his connection with God, where he would tell his wife, like, "No, it's cool, don't worry, but like, I gotta fuck the babysitter." Deadass. I'm botching like the details of it, but it was like, I gotta fuck the God tells me. What do you want me to do?
Someone's telling me I got to do this.
Yeah, it's the out card. God
That's
said
sick.
it. Yeah.
Oh my
man.
God.
Of course, it's the tale as old as time. So
Man.
you know what? You know what I realized the other day, and it made me sad. Like, there will come a time. This definitely happens to you too. I know you could relate to me on this. Like, I'll have something to do. Like, I'll have to do some work for the show, and it's like, okay, I procrastinated enough. I got to get started. And then I'll sit there, and I'll be like, all right, let's do this. And then I just sit there.
Yep.
And then I just keep sitting there. And then I just keep fucking sitting there. And then, like, I look at the clock, and it's been 15 minutes. And I'm like, I committed to doing this fucking 15 minutes ago, and my body just hasn't responded. Like, I have every intention. Like, okay, do it. Go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. But my body's just like,
Yeah.
nah. What the fuck is that? Like, it's almost like I can control my consciousness to an extent, but there are roadblocks.
It's almost like that dreaming shit where it's like
Yeah.
you could see yourself doing it, and then
Yeah.
you go to do it, and you're just like, no, you can't do it.
Yeah. Like, I have more control of my consciousness, obviously, when I'm awake. But,
Yeah.
like, I still don't have full control of it, because if I had full control of it, I could just be like, do this, and then I just do it and have full attention. But it's almost like my attention span needed to wind itself up more, like recharge. It's like my attention span's like a phone battery, and it was on like fucking 0%, and I plugged it in, and I got that shit to like 27%. And I was like, all right, let's go focus now. And my body's like, no, you got to get to at least 86. Like, that's what it felt like.
Yeah. I mean, that's how fucking anything works. You got to preheat an oven to fucking get shit hot. You got to fucking, like you said, charge your cell phone before that shit can start working good.
It's
Or
just,
getting the full effect of like what your phone can do.
it's annoying.
You got to charge your body up.
That's true, but it made me mad because it's like, I was like, why isn't the intention enough for me to just be able to do it? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it happens
like
to
mentally
old
you have
athletes
your
too.
attention, but it's got to reach your whole fucking body.
I was gonna say it happens to old athletes too. Like,
Uh-huh.
Kobe still has in his mind, he knows how to do all the things that he did in his prime, but like, he goes out on the court now and he's just
Body
fucking
doesn't match it.
slower, and his body's not reacting to what his mind knows he can do and what he wants to do, and just like, oh, it just doesn't fucking work now.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Tiger. Did you hear about Tiger? He got another back surgery.
Just recently?
He just got another one.
Oh, it's over.
And I love
It's
how
right.
they were still trying to put a positive spin on it on his website. They were like, he had a minimally invasive surgery. They fucking fused 2 of his vertebrae together.
That's a back surgery?
Yeah, they fused 2 of his vertebrae.
And I just heard from Steve Kerr, the Warriors head coach. So he had back surgery last year, and that shit's been fucking him up. So just recently, yesterday, this was the second game he didn't coach in. He came out with a statement. It was just like, if anyone ever has to get back surgery, or he was just like, stay away from getting surgery. He was just like, rehab. Because his shit is fucked up. It's like he said, anytime you fuck with like a nerve or anything in your back, you're fucking shit. Like,
Well, that's what happened with Tiger, too, the nerve. So first he had a problem, and he got one surgery. Then he like re-injured the same thing, and he had to go back to get the same surgery. Then there was a third surgery, which I think was, again, a repeat of the same fucking original one. And then this one is not that one, but this one is as a result of the previous surgery. He had pain in his lower back and a shooting pain down one of his legs. So it was nerve pain. It was like connected to the nerve. And so they tried this. And he's got all the money in the world. He goes to the best doctors. And,
Hell yeah.
And it just didn't fucking take. Meanwhile, there was another dude who had the same surgery that Tiger had for his back. Mm-hmm. Totally healed, out there playing on tour, like nothing ever happened. But Tiger may have rushed back the first time and fucked it up even more.
You know what's crazy to think?
That he won the U.S. Open on a broken leg?
Yeah, but like we're gonna have those fucking back pains too.
Dude, I already feel a little older. Like, do you
like
ever
all
get
that shit that happens to them? Like we're gonna get older too, and if our back hurts now or like we sit wrong with our posture, that shit's all gonna catch up to us.
I had it the other day. I picked up this weighted golf club, so I wanted to play soon because it's getting nice now. I picked up this weighted golf club and I did some swings with it. And then, like, immediately after, my neck, the top of my neck, like where my traps are, it just felt like something was pulled or whatever. And that lasted for like a day and a half. And I'm like, what the And then I realized, like, oh, wait a second, bitch, you're not 22 anymore. Like, I can't pick something up and just start swinging it without stretching first. Like, I got to, like, loosen up the muscles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I don't know if you saw that new Face app thing. Have you seen that? Like, it gives you the picture of what you're going to look like when you're older. You could see yourself as a girl. You could see yourself as...
Oh, they have that on Facebook. I see people's faces transforming and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's with celebrities.
Well, I've never... maybe there's a thing you could do in it that I haven't figured out yet where you can make yourself look like a celebrity or whatever. But the thing, like, the default options are... you could make yourself look old. You can make yourself look young. You can make yourself look like the opposite gender. And you could see what it looks like. And
is it an app?
It's an app, and I think it was free.
Look that shit up.
Yeah, and so I looked at myself old, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
It just throw some wrinkles on your face and shit like that, or it gets like
it does
pretty...
a few. Yeah, like it makes the wrinkles that you already have, like the spaces where
I got some diesel ass wrinkles.
Like they make those more defined. You know, it made my facial hair white. It makes your eyes like darker or whatever. It just takes you and like fucking customizes your oldness.
That's weird.
I looked fucking horrible.
Really?
Oh my god! Like some people when they age, like you look distinguished.
Yeah.
I just look like a fucking dude from Mississippi who spent 23 years hunting frogs. And
it was that bad?
It was bad, man. It was bad.
But I feel like once you get to that age, whatever that specific age is, you're just gonna be on some... This is me. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, take it or leave it.
I already don't give a fuck.
Yeah, true. So it's like...
everybody's... I mean, right? So everybody's got to be vain to a degree, right?
Yeah, I guess
like, there's an extent to everybody's vainness.
Yeah.
Like, you could push people really far, but then when you tell them, like, what if we got rid of one of your eyes? What if we fucking, took away your ability... I don't know, or we gave you hair in your ears. Like, people be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where I'll draw the line. Yeah.
So, but wherever my fucking line is, they cross it with that picture, dog. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking grotesque.
I gotta see that. It makes you young? Like,
yeah, you could just... you know what else it does? It's fucking creepy. It gives you, like, you could take a picture with your face like this.
Yeah.
And click the thing that says smile, and it'll give you a smile, and it always looks so creepy. Like, it fits the face, but it's not, like, doesn't look normal. It looks like some shit from a nightmare.
You don't have Snapchat, but Snapchat does, like, weird shit like that. They have all those, you could swap your face with someone, or, like, I could put your face on mine, and it's just, like, it's
the
fucking
face swap
weird
thing.
shit.
Yeah. I've seen that before. Snapchat is, like, 92% used for sexting, right?
Yeah, probably most people do that shit. I mean, like, I don't even know why I really use that shit anymore. Like, I cut my fucking grass for the first time, and I pulled like a
how'd
snap
that go,
up.
man?
Dude, the shit, to be honest, was actually, like, pretty therapeutic.
It was, right? Like, it was like cleaning, like, vacuuming or some shit.
But then I spoke to one of my friends, and he was like, just wait till, like, the 4th week in.
Yeah, that's right.
And I used the same exact example with driving. I was like, when I first started driving, I would go anywhere. Like,
yep.
And the first time I cut the lawn, I was like, I went over the shit, I finished, and I was just like, let me go over this shit one more time. Like, I was like felt like I was like Yankee Stadium fucking grounds crew.
Yeah.
Like, and then Like I could probably like I'm looking forward to the next time I have to cut the grass. Probably be like a month or two, but then I'm gonna wake
Yeah,
up.
that's right. That's exactly how it's going to happen. But
Yeah,
no, it's true. It's with anything. Like I told you that I was forced by the government to plant trees.
yeah, it's okay.
But like I've had to water them a few times.
Hmm.
And like at first I'm like, I gotta fucking water these fucking stupid ass fucking things. But then after I do it, I'm like, all right, I just
Yeah,
water my trees.
yeah,
So it's that weird thing, like the ownership thing of it. Like you get to look at it and be like, I did that, me did that. It's like a fucking Neanderthal, old school caveman brain.
Yep.
Me create thing. Me like
Yeah.
creating thing. But then, yeah, like your friend was saying, and like I said originally,
It's
that
just
shit'll
gonna get
get
tired.
old quick
Anything
as
after a
fuck.
while, it gets fucking
yeah,
boring and
you know
old.
the feeling when you've had a new car. It's like I got a new fucking car. This is great.
Yep.
3 months later, it's just a car. Like I got in a car and I drove somewhere.
And it's like when I'm required to, it's like almost like, no, fuck that. Like I don't want to cut the grass. Like I don't want to be required
Yeah.
to cut the grass. Like
I don't want
fuck
to
you.
fucking get an oil change. Fuck that shit. Yeah, that's what happens after a while.
So we went to Home Depot, and last week we spoke about people who just have it in them that want to do shit, and other people. So we bought a grill too, and the dude at Home Depot was like, "Oh, like and the grill was like OD. It was like a big ass grill, but it was a good price." And then he was like, "Oh, that's it right there," and it came in some small ass box. So he was like, "You can." We had pre-made barbecue sets that we put together and all this shit, and it's just like we save you the hassle of having to do it all. And I was like, done, let's get that. And I was talking with my wife. I was like, we just have to fit it in the car. Like, that's just the main thing. She was like, yeah, but then we got to like maneuver shit. And she was like, let's just get the box. I'll put it together. I was like, I'm not putting that shit together. She fucking got the box and put the whole fucking thing together because she didn't want to fit it in the
she
car.
put it together.
The whole shit.
Oh my god, she's so fucking crafty. It's amazing.
Some people just like I
I
had
can't
no
do that shit.
intention. Like the dude was like, "We put them together for you. Like they're outside in the front." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, like that's what I want. Like I don't have to do anything."
I'm
Whereas-
barely able to put together some shit that requires like 3 steps. Like first do this, then do this, you fucking idiot. Like the simplest shit, and I'll get it, and I'll see like minimal fucking assembly required. I'm like,
Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. Like come assembled.
And it's also the type of person you are. Like if you're good at following the step by step shit, like, and you're technical like that, that's one thing. That takes a certain kind of mind, more of like a mathematical mind. Whereas I'm more of like a fucking. I'm more creative. Like I would try to reinvent the wheel given the option.
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I'm
that
saying?
makes sense.
Like,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't. Like I don't want to read the fucking directions, and we're such stereotypes right now too, because they're like, oh, the guys don't want to read the fucking directions.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
like I want to create my shit from the ground up. I want to start from scratch. I want to. So you send me
Yeah.
some shit that's got steps in it. I'm like, I'm following somebody else's fucking roadmap here.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, at the same time, it's not like I would try to build a fucking grill from scratch. So that shit would never get done.
It was like, here's how you put the grill together. You're like, nah. Here's how you put the grill together. You're like,
That's exactly right.
what? You're like, nah. It's just you just gotta put it together this way.
No,
But
that's
she
so
put
true.
the whole shit together, and then at the end hit me with like so we tried starting it and it wasn't starting, and then it's just like I gave her a look like, what the fuck? Like we could have just had some shit that was already put together, because then it was like, where do we even go from here?
And
like,
what
what do you-
happened? Did it get fixed?
So it was the fucking big ass thing, with the burner, like what do you buy? The propane tank.
Oh, the
Wasn't
propane
full.
tank.
They sold us like a so.
So did she figure that out quickly? Was she like, oh, it's just a propane tank?
Well, it was weird because I picked the propane tank up, but I was like, this shit's not that heavy, but it's still sort of heavy because it's a diesel ass propane tank.
Right.
And then we even brought it to Home Depot, and the guy was like, I don't know. He was like, try a new one, and the shit was heavy. And then we plugged it in, and that worked.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, but that feeling that you felt, like, right when it didn't work immediately,
the
is
worst.
the feeling I dread the most. Like,
Yeah.
I am fucking so rigid with, if some shit gets a little bit off my path, I will fucking lose it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got anger problems, man. In fact, that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, is I wrote it down. So what'll happen is during the week sometimes, like, I'll be taking a shower, and I get out the shower, and then I'll just catch myself saying some shit to myself. Or I'll wake up and I'll immediately say some shit like to myself, like I'm
Like
talking
what
to
type
myself out loud.
like good things, bad things?
No,
What do you
here
mean? Just
I'll
anything?
read you. I wrote down 3 of the things I say.
Uh-huh.
And I caught myself saying it. Like, I had to stop and be like, okay, I said that. Let me write this down because I want to tell Corin about this because I think it's like I have like anger issues. So one of the things I catch myself saying, I'll just be like, don't be a dick. I'll say, don't be a dick.
To not anything in particular, like you're just
No,
saying
like
it
some
out
shit.
loud?
So it's whenever I feel like like something's off. Like I got to do some shit or fix some shit, or I'm feeling like resistance. I'm like, don't be a dick. And I don't know if I'm talking to myself or I don't know if I'm talking to somebody else who's pissing me off, like subconsciously. But I'll just be like, don't be a dick. Like it'll just come out. I'll just be like,
I
don't be
would
a
see
dick.
that as a good thing. Like you're sort of telling yourself, like be good.
It might not be for me though. It might be for like somebody who's pissing me off. Like, don't be a dick. Like talking to somebody
Oh.
else. Like it might be that. I don't know. It depends on the context. I didn't write down the context. It's me like half awake, waking up, saying some shit like that. Like I'll just say it. Another thing that I say, some of it's ridiculous. Like if I did something that I pissed myself off,
Uh-huh.
I say, "You're a bitch. Do you understand that?"
What?
I call myself saying that, son. I was
That's
like, "You're a bitch. You understand that?" Like, I don't know if it's like a self pep talk or if I have
yeah,
like
that's
anger issues.
yeah, that's what's up. Does it work?
I don't know, but I'll just say it, and then I'll be like, "Did I just say that to myself?" Like I got to write that down that I said that. It's just like a burst of fucking energy. Like, you're a bitch. You understand that? Like my inner gangsters like berating me.
Yeah, that's you have like an inner self talking to yourself. That's pretty cool. I mean,
Okay.
like,
And then I call myself saying this when I was lazy. Like when I was doing some shit that I didn't want to be doing and I wanted to get it over with. I was like, "Come on, baby, you're almost there." Like I said that like 4 times, and I caught myself. It just happened. It was like, "Come on, baby, you're almost there."
yeah, I mean, like that. I think that's good that you have little motivational tips that you have to say or whatever.
It's not conscious.
Everybody has that shit.
Yeah, like if you get it, write that shit down for next week. Like if you
I'm gonna think about
catch
it, yeah.
yourself saying some shit, because that's me like all the fucking time. I'll be doing something and then it'll just come out. I'll be like, "Don't be a dick,"
yeah.
or "You're a bitch."
on, baby,
you
you're almost
understand
there.
that? Come on, baby, you're almost there. Like it'll just happen.
I think in the gym I've said shit to myself like that.
In the gym,
like,
definitely. But
like,
that's
come on,
like
stop being a bitch.
acceptable. Yeah, like that's acceptable in the gym.
yeah.
It didn't feel like acceptable. Like I'm there by
Just
myself
yeah.
and I just say it and I'm like, "That was weird." It's
Yeah.
like these outbursts. Like if I'm feeling resistance about something, like if I feel like things are not going according to plan, like if I'm behind with
It
something,
puts you back on track.
yeah, it's like me pushing myself to fucking get some shit done that I feel like should already be done. Like you're a
Yeah, that
bitch.
makes-
You understand that?
You have like an inner Denzel that just talks to you, just like
Yeah, I guess, but it
Finish
doesn't.
it.
It doesn't feel healthy. Like it feels like some, like I don't know. And sometimes it's angry. Like, I'm like, "Don't be a dick." Like I'll be saying it in a scornful way to myself.
yeah, maybe it has its own like personality. Like each situation is
Am I
different. Like,
schizophrenic? We're talking about me like I'm 2 people.
probably. I mean, maybe you are a fucking part that you have to use.
I don't hallucinate though. But if I start hallucinating, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a little weird.
Yeah. All right. On that note, on me being schizophrenic, let's call it a night.
Come on,
So-
baby, you could do it.
Come on, baby. What is it? Let me give you the exact words. Come on, baby. You're almost there. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
I can't think of anything, but maybe
It'll come. You got to
Yeah.
catch yourself saying it though. You got
That's
to
what I'm
like,
saying.
and you'll be like, "Oh shit, I just said that," and then write it down.
yeah.
And these are recurring. Like those seem to happen like a few times. Like those specific ones.
Okay.
Don't be a dick. That was probably the most common one. Me saying, "Don't be a dick."
I probably gonna start saying "Don't be a dick" now. You're gonna get everybody saying that shit.
I
Like, "Don't be a
poisoned
dick."
the well. I poisoned the well. So now it's just gonna affect you. You're gonna,
Everybody has shit that they say to themselves that is like some motivating shit. I'm sure, even outside of the gym, like if they wake up and they're like, "Come on, you could do this today," like that's weird. Like you're sort of talking to
yeah,
yourself.
but it's when you're doing shit you don't want to do. You're like, "I don't want to fucking. Okay, come on, baby, we can do this. Like, get through this shit."
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When people wake
Yeah.
up and they're just like, "Come on, let's have a good day today." Like who the fuck are they saying that to?
Internal dialogue. It's weird. Imagine if somebody narrates their whole life and just fucking. And then I got some orange juice.
That's what people do on fucking Twitter and Facebook and shit. They narrate the whole.
Basically. Basically, that's true. Oh, by the way, just real quick before we end, that I told you already that the Trump impersonator I love has his own show now, right?
I saw the preview. That guy.
Thursday it starts.
So it's just him in
It's him
situations being Trump?
President Trump. It's him being President Trump. I can't wait to watch it because he's such a good impersonator. He could do
Trump's
anything in that
definitely
show, and I'm
watch
gonna
that
like
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, if it gets big, like if this shit gets as big, now I'm going crazy here because the Chappelle show is like God level. But if this shit blows up like on some Chappelle level shit, I mean that's like then the president will fucking be all over him.
See, Trump just doesn't understand. If he like just went on that show, episode 1, he'd probably get some respect from people.
Yeah, but he's the opposite of that. That's his
know.
problem. Like he wouldn't even do the White House Correspondents' Dinner,
know.
which is basically made for that. Like, okay, you're gonna get made fun of now, and it's gonna be fun. And he's like, no, there's nothing to make fun of me about because I'm perfect. Like that's how he thinks.
They said SNL invited him to be on the show, and it's like, you want to have Alec Baldwin stop fucking harassing you and all this shit and stop people talking? Like, go on the show.
Yeah, but he can't do it. He can't bring himself to do it. Yeah, he's a man-child.
They showed when the Patriots went to the fucking White House that like 35 of the players didn't go.
Yep.
But there was like no story about it or something. Something else happened that day.
Yeah,
I forgot what it was.
Yeah, there's always
maybe somebody passed away. Oh, I think that was when Aaron Hernandez.
Oh yeah,
that was the same day.
That was fucking great. Did you hear the story about that afterwards?
Supposedly wasn't suicide, right?
No. It was suicide, but he wrote 3 suicide notes.
Oh, did he?
One to his wife, one to his daughter, and one to his gay boyfriend.
Oh, God.
Where
I saw a picture of that today.
Apparently, that's one of the things that led to one of his murders too. Is that one of the dudes like called him gay or some shit, and he had been in like he's bisexual. He was in like a gay relationship with a dude he knew from high school for mad long.
Seriously?
And one of the dudes called him gay, and he killed the dude who said he was gay. This was all, by the way, in a Newsweek article. Just for the record here, if people are getting mad at me, I didn't fucking hear the fuck that. No, it was in a Newsweek article I read a few days ago. Where now I think his lawyer has come out and denied all of it, but I don't know. There seemed to be
there's definitely some weird stuff
Newsweek was
going on with
reporting
him.
it. Seemed pretty credible that that they found like there was a reason why it definitely was suicide. Like he locked himself in or fucking put things in the way so people couldn't get in or whatever. And then he did it, and then they found the suicide notes, and then apparently I saw that the suicide notes are going to be given to his wife or something. But yeah, it could have been that that was what they were saying.
And what's the other one? So there's a dude in Arkansas who got executed.
Oh yes, I didn't cover this yet, but there was a double execution, and there's going to be another one Thursday. And in the double execution, they tried to put the IV in the guy's neck, and they failed. So and then they halted the other execution for like 20 minutes, and then they started that one too. So they did the double execution. Yeah, I know, man. This is now people are like. When you bring up, like, oh, that's fucked up, people go, yeah, but that person fucking did this murder crime, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we all get that, and we're all fucking against that. But should the state torture somebody before they kill them? Like, fucking put the needle in the thing and, like, we gotta be better than that. Like, we get it, they're assholes, but that's why they're in fucking prison. Should we all go to prison because our tax dollars are funding the torture of somebody? Like, what the fuck? And it really, life behind bars is not, like, a fucking cakewalk. Some might argue that's even harsher against them than killing them and giving them an out.
And I think you retweeted something, a note the guy wrote.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what he did. I'm sure it was fucking really bad.
It was bad. It was like murder, and it was a young person or some shit. It was terrible. But yeah, the dude was like...
I'm a Buddhist, and like,
I've done everything since then to try to improve my life, and I know I made a mistake, and I turned to Buddhism, and I've been, doing all... It's like, okay, so what are we doing here? Like, are we setting something up that's for rehabilitation, or are we just trying to fucking all revenge and retribution and like, so what's the goal? What is the goal? Like, what is the goal? Okay, you do something like that, now you're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Okay, but then just keep it real. You're using the same tactics that they used. So, okay, they murdered, so now you're saying, well, we're gonna murder you because you murdered them. So that proves murder is wrong? We're gonna show you murder is wrong by murdering you.
Yeah, it's a good ass point.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like life in prison without the possibility of parole is very sufficient for...
Yeah.
Like, you think they're going to be happy in a fucking 5 foot by 5 foot room the rest of their fucking life, contemplating their crime? No. You're serving justice by doing that. When you murder them and fucking botch it. They're using chemicals they don't even fucking know are gonna work. They're just fucking using. It's crazy. They got these leftover chemicals. There's I don't know, because they stopped making the official death penalty chemical mix because the company that made it was European and they don't have the death penalty. So they're like, we're not going to make it anymore for you guys because we don't agree with it. And so in the U.S., they're like, okay, we got to find a new way to kill people. And they just started testing all these chemicals. One of them they don't even use on animals anymore because it doesn't work efficiently, but they still use it on people. It's like, what the fuck are we doing, man?
What is it? Some states, the death penalty is allowed and some is not?
Yeah. Most
New York, it's not, or it is?
I think it's still on the books in New York, but it hasn't been used since like the 1970s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's
Arkansas
some states,
seems like a state where they would just fucking have that shit legal.
So there are some states where it's illegal. There are some states where it's on the books, but they don't do it. And there are some states where it's legal but rarely used, and other states where they're all systems go.
Texas is whatever
Texas
the fuck
has
they want,
it,
right?
yeah. Arkansas is the worst right now. The governor's just going nuts.
Yeah, it seems absurd. Like he's just fucking on the streak right now.
Yep. So
and then your boy Jeb Bush just bought the Marlins.
And Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter and Jeb Bush.
A weird fucking
They're gonna
combo.
make a buddy comedy together. Yeah, it's just bizarre.
Oh.
So, all right, guys, we love you, and we will see y'all next week. Everybody, I'll see you tomorrow, but me and Corin will see you next week.
Hopefully this shit fucking uploaded.
I had like a fucking brain fart mid-sentence there. Like, I'll see you next week, but I will see you tomorrow, and we will see you next week together or something.
Like, who does that? Someone says fucking, like, they speak so many different points, but don't actually say anything. I think I do that a lot.
That's most politicians.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow, and me and Corin will see you next week.